Hi guys, it's Sharon Mallon here, Module Team Chair in presentation for K219. I'm currently in a hotel room in Belfast, having just been to graduation yesterday, which was great. And I know a lot of you will be starting today. Today is the official start date of the module, 6th of October, when I'm recording this. And I just wanted to record a very short video that tells you about the Welcome Week, first of all, and that also will tell you a little bit more about what's coming up in the next 9 months or so. So the Welcome Week, the material in that I wrote myself. You'll see if you've studied it. There's a picture of me at the beginning, and throughout there are little anecdotes from my educational experiences, and that's because the purpose of the Welcome Week is really to get you thinking about your past experiences of education and learning and how those might influence you, and what you can do to build up resilience as the module comes to a start, and to plan for any kind of unforeseen circumstances that might affect your ability to study on the module. There are two of my favourite authors in there. There's Noam Chomsky and Foucault at the beginning, and what they have in common is really about questioning authority and questioning accepted ways of viewing the world, and that is the core of K219. We really want you to start thinking critically about issues in relation to health and well-being. What we have are 4 blocks of study, and at the end of each block there is an assignment which you'll have to complete. They are usually essays, and they are of varying length and varying weights in terms of how much they are actually worth towards your studies. But you'll find details of that on the assessment pages. TMA01 and TMA02 are already up there, and TMA03 will be following quite shortly, with TMA04 and the EMA coming later in the year, but certainly well in time for when you need them. Block 1 is all about critical issues and the individual, so we look at health and well-being really from the perspective of an individual person. Then in Block 2 we move out and look at individuals and relationships and how those affect, so how relationships at work affect our health and well-being, how relationships within our families affect our well-being. And in the third block we look at relationships in care and how those affect health and well-being, before in the final block moving out to a more societal view, and we look at things that might affect our care in terms of the NHS, and also in terms of future directions. We look at some global issues such as climate change. There have been lots and lots of questions about print material on this module. There currently are no print materials on it. Everything is online, but we have had some really positive feedback from students about how it is designed, and I would like to stress we have specifically written this module with the online environment in mind, so things are short, they're to the point, activities are directly linked to the text that you read, and I really hope that once you get going you will be able to see the value of that. You can print out the readings if you prefer to do it that way. There is a study planner at the beginning of each learning guide, and that tells you what you need to study for that learning guide and roughly how long the activities should take, and that is supposed to help you manage your time, so you can dip in and do the odd bit of work depending on what caring responsibilities or job responsibilities or anything else that is a time stealer for you. There are various ways of keeping in touch. I have mentioned this before. We have the K219 module forum, which is up and running and being run by 2 of the tutors on a rota basis, so there'll be various faces in there. It's been really great to see so many of you in there over the last few weeks, and I've really enjoyed interacting with you about issues about health and well-being and just answering your questions on the module, because I know it's new to you all, and so continue to keep any questions coming to us. You also have a Facebook group, details of which can be found on the module forum. I'm running that with some of the team, and it's really a kind of a way of just creating a community for you that's official and from the module team. There is also a Twitter feed. There are 2 ways in which you can follow follow that. It is currently on the right hand side of your student homepage, or you can actually join us via Twitter if you do wish to set up an account. It is important to stress again, you do not need to have a Facebook account or a Twitter account if you do not wish to. We know some students don't want to engage in social media in that way, and that's perfectly fine. Everything that you would need to cover will be covered in the forum if that's the route that you want to go to communicate with us. That's absolutely fine. Like any other OU module, that's where a lot of the material that you will need in terms of discussing with your fellow students and the tutors will be. The first Adobe Connect session for some of you will be taking place today, Saturday. For others of you, it will be Sunday, and that is because you are divided into two groups. There are around 400 of you, so we've divided you into two groups, and so some of you have different options than the other. So if you do know of another student who's going to a different one, it's because they're in a different group. Entirely the same content will be covered, so you don't need to worry, you're not missing out at all. The Welcome Week, I touched upon it briefly. Really, it's all about getting you going, and I talk about my experiences of dropping out of a brick university and then returning to the Open University to do my degree. I found that really challenging at the time, but learned so much about myself in the process that it's good to reflect on it, and it does help you show how resilient you are. I mean, yesterday at the graduation, it was so obvious of the barriers that people had to overcome to continue their studies. I always find it a really emotional day because everybody's loved ones are there, and you can see how much they've supported them to get to where they needed to be. And that is the other theme of the Welcome Week. It's all about letting you think about the goal that is your purpose for studying K219. It is the subject of the first TMA, which is due at the end of Learning Guide 2. And we really want you to think about what it is your goal is. It could be anything. What we want you to do is use the material in the first 2 weeks to think about your goal and how you might achieve it. It will be very personal to you. So in terms of the goal itself, there is no right or wrong answer. There's an example in there from what I want from the module for you, but this is the TMA is entirely about why it is you are studying K219 and what it is you want to get out of it. So, I would encourage you to attend the Adobe Connect sessions where they will help support you through that. There are also activities in Learning Guide 1 and 2, which I will run through in a future video that I'll post somewhere in the middle of next week. At the moment, we're trying to stagger. I know a lot of you are ahead, but we're trying to stagger so that we keep according to the schedule, which is the official OU schedule for how the modules should be studied. Really, that's it from me. Really pleased to be finally starting officially. The only thing I would say, the final thing, is at the end of every block there is a review and consolidation week. So I know that once you get started, things can happen and you can lose those weeks. So by all means, if you ever are struggling to reach a TMA deadline, please let your tutor know. They will be probably phoning or emailing you very shortly if they haven't done so already, and you will find their details on your student homepage. Again, get in touch via any medium that suits you, and best of luck on K219, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye.